Hello, my name is Sydney Spears, and you're invited to participate in this practice. The practice is called Self-Compassion Freedom Break. And this practice is open to anyone, but it can be especially helpful for those people who have experienced marginalization, biases based on social or cultural identities. Identities that are racialized, ethnic identities, cultural identities that have been marginalized around age, generation, ability, around sexual orientation, gender, as well as many, many other social differences and social cultural identities. So if you'd like to participate in this practice, feel free to bring your body to a particular place and space that is most compassionate for you, bringing in a sense of possible kindness towards your body, and maybe giving your body what it might need right now. You're also welcome to bring your eyes to wherever your eyes may need to be. You could choose to keep your eyes open. You could close your eyes, or another option could be to drop your gaze downward toward the ground or the earth. It's certainly your choice. If you'd like, you might also take a few moments to notice your breath, if that's accessible for you. And another option, instead of noticing breath, might be to notice your body making contact with the surface that's supporting your body. Maybe noticing that point of contact of your body with the chair, the sofa, the surface beneath your feet, or maybe wherever your hands might be resting. So you're welcome to call to mind a particular situation in your life that has been challenging, especially in relationship to a social or cultural identity that has been, from your experience, underserved, underheard, and underrepresented. So it might be your gender identity. It might be your identity of sexual orientation. It might be your social economic class. It might be being a single parent, a role. It might be your positionality at work. It could be your racial identity or your disability identity or some other identity that you would like to call to mind. And know that whatever issue that might be connected to a social or cultural identity or position or role, that you might want to choose a particular issue or problem or challenge that is mild to moderate, nothing that is overwhelming or traumatic, mild to moderate stressor. Could also be experiencing a microaggression, something that someone said or did, maybe didn't do in relationship to your identity. And if you do have a particular challenge, situation that was mild to moderate in relationship to a particular identity that you own, or a role or a position in your world, and maybe allow yourself to just bring that situation in your mind, bring that situation to life. Perhaps just remembering what you experienced. What did you hear? What did you notice? What was maybe said? How did you respond? Perhaps how you felt. And feel free, if you are able, to notice from your experience of where you might have felt the discomfort in your body, if you can recall that. No problem if you cannot recall where you felt that in your body. That sense of discomfort from that challenging situation in relationship to your identity. And then if you'd like, feel free to say to yourself, in relationship to the discomfort that you experienced that was in relationship to your identity, feel free to say to yourself, that really hurt. Or that did not feel good to me. Or that was painful. There may be some other words that arise in your awareness about what that felt like. And if so, feel free to say those words to yourself as well. And if you did choose to say to yourself what you experienced, how that felt, such as that hurt, that was painful, that really bothered me, I was really upset, or something else, some other words. Know that that is a practice of being mindful of what you experienced, and identifying your experience and how you felt, what that was like for you in that moment. And then next, you could say to yourself something like, pain is a part of my experience in life. Pain can be a part of everyone's experience, especially those people who identify in my community that I identify with. So I'm not alone. Others in my community would have felt a lot like me in this situation. I'm not the only one who has experienced this type of pain, this type of discomfort, a microaggression. Me too. I've experienced it too. And to bring mindfulness to the commonality of pain from social cultural identities, that there's a sense of collectivity and commonness so that we don't feel so isolated, as if it just happened only to us. It happens to many, and it has happened in the past, and it has happened in the current day. So you could say to yourself, I'm not alone. I have a community, a common human community. You might even call to mind any ancestors of yours, family ancestors that have also experienced the pain of the identity from the situation that you call to mind in this practice. The ancestors of yours, the family members of yours that have also experienced the pain of marginalization, the pain of experiencing biases, the pain of discrimination and experiencing social injustices in its various expressions and forms. And then if you want to, you're welcome to Place a hand over your heart, or maybe somewhere else where it might feel tender and supportive in relationship to calling to mind the social or cultural identity experience that was difficult, where you may have felt disrespected, excluded, or something else. So this could be an opportunity to perhaps bring some tenderness from self-touch, bring some compassion to your body, to that difficulty. And maybe saying to yourself something like, may I support myself? Or may I protect myself? Or perhaps another option could be, may I give myself what I need? And maybe giving yourself what you need in recalling the discomfort from your situation in relationship to your identity. Could be setting a boundary, protecting your body, calling up that inner place in all of us that holds our inner truth about who we are. Not identifying, perhaps, with the external truth, but connecting to the voice and the choice and the empowerment of our own inner, authentic, real reality about our bodies and about ourselves. That we are still valuable, worthy, lovable, and we do have the capacity for our true voice and true choice. And that is an expression of self-kindness and fierce self-compassion. Motivating ourselves, providing for ourselves, and protecting ourselves with tenderness. So as we end this practice of self-compassion, freedom break, you're welcome to reflect upon the ways that you might connect to your own sense of self-compassion, freedom, by taking your power back, having your own definition of who you are, despite what the external world has constructed about you. And to know that for true liberation, you can keep rising, and that you have the capacity internally to keep rising. Thank you so much for participating in this practice, the Self-Compassion Freedom Break.